The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you all to my March Psychic Hour. It's always a pleasure to meet with you during these monthly Psychic Hours. I just love to see, I'm looking right now, I'm scrolling down the names. I love to see so many people returning, and I guess this is one of your monthly stops, and I'm glad that I'm on that list. I also want to welcome all of the new people that I see here on my list this evening. We have a couple of announcements I call it housekeeping, that I'd like to make as we get started this evening. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of how this goes, how to get the most out of the Psychic Hour with me, and how we're going to proceed this evening. And then I'll also talk about a few more things at the end, okay, of the night. So, so just hang in there, and I will get to as many questions for as many of you as I possibly can this evening. But here's my announcements first. First, please make a note that the next Psychic Hour is going to be on April 15th. So make a note of that on your calendar. And if you enjoy this evening's presentation, then come on in and join us again next month, and maybe this will go on your monthly calendar too, just as it is on mine. It's so much fun. And, as I work, my guides come through. I'm channeling my guides as I give you the information and answer to your questions. And my guides have a real interesting way of not just answering the question for the person that has actually asked it, but along the way, they may hit the answers that many others are wanting to receive on the call. So even if you're too shy to raise your hand, or even if I don't have time to call on you, please pay attention and stay until the end, because it's very likely that the questions that are in your mind are the things that my guides are going to be discussing as we go through the webinar this evening. It's pretty amazing. I have to tell you, even when I re-listen to these things myself, I'm like, hey, that was cool. Gee, thanks, guys. My guides connect with your guides, you see, and so we get tremendous amounts of information, because information's feeding through from every single person that's on the call. And that's another reason, of course, that it's great to be able to go back to YouTube and re-listen to these, because as you know, I do post them, and everyone who's on here will get a link to the replay. But also the general public can go on and listen to those. And a lot of people say, oh, wow, I can just go onto YouTube and listen. But if you want the information that my guides are giving to apply to you, you've got to be on the call. So it's all the more reason to actually be here. So I like to give a little bit of insight into how this works each time. And those of you who've been with me for a couple of years, already understand how this works, but for those of you who are new, it's really good to know. Also, I know I don't always get to everyone here who has a burning question. So if I didn't get to your question and you're physically, listening to the call, you're here with me, what I do is I welcome within the next 24 hours from now, this is 9 p.m., up until 9 p.m. tomorrow night, I will answer any email that you send me. The email address is on the GoToMeeting. And if you send that to me with your one simple question, not like my whole life, but one simple question, I will be glad to answer that. It might take me a couple of weeks to get to it, but I do get to all of them, okay? And that's something that my guides and I are very proud of. So if you take the time to physically be here and listen to this whole thing, then my guides and I are going to take the time to make sure you get what you need from this call. So thank you very much for being here. It's a joy to me to be able to serve. That's the way I see this, to serve in this way. So thank you. Other than the Psychic Hour coming up, that's going to be on March 15th. Pardon me, April 15th. I'll get it straight yet. I heard Lisa saying, no! You'll meet Lisa if you're new in the chat room. Lisa is my assistant, and I will be asking her to call on people as the hour progresses. So if you have a question and you'd like to be called on, make sure you raise your hand, okay? You'll see the hand button on the side. Raise your hand. everyone is going to be muted. Lisa's in charge of that. And she will usually go to people she hasn't seen before on the call. So if you're new, you get a better chance of getting your question directly answered. Or if she sees in the chat room the same question popping up over and over and over again, she might call on one of those people just to have them answer that general question. And she does a great job. So let's hear it for Lisa. She's fabulous. And if she can answer your question directly herself, then she will also do that. So we're really grateful, my guide tonight, to have her here with us at these psychic hours. The only other thing I really want to make mention of is something I'm very excited about. As I've been talking about for a year, about my having a new website that's going to be updated and new and great and wonderful, well, I think we're really close. We may actually get that website online somewhere between now and the end of April. So please keep checking back on my website at sandyanastasi.com, because when that new website goes live, it'll knock your socks off. It's going to be state of the art. It's going to have everything that's on my website right now, but it's going to be scaled up a notch, because you're going to be able to have an entire library of educational materials to choose from. So I'm really excited about that. So that's my big announcement for the evening. Okay, here's how this works, okay? As I said, if you have a question you'd like answered, please raise your hand. If you're too shy to actually talk when you get chosen, well, then you can type your question into the chat room. So we have two ways of answering or asking those questions. And if you do type your question into the chat room, Lisa will be able to read that question out to me. And so you'll still be able to get your question answered. Now, my guides are astrologers, which is why you're seeing the Psychic Hour chart. This is called a horary chart. And it answers the questions for every single person who is online with me this evening. That's what a horary chart does. And they're just so much fun to work with. And I love to see the proof of how valid astrology is month after month as we do these. So I will be working with tarot cards. I'll be working with the astrology chart you see here online. And I'm also going to work with channeling my guides, who are also speaking to your guides. So there's a lot of information that comes through as I do these sessions with you. Now, when you get called on, here's what I would like you to do. First, okay, tell me your name. First name will do. Second, tell all of us where you're from. That is so much fun for everyone to hear, because people call in from all over the world for this, and it's just fun to find out where you're calling from. So your name, where you're from, and then, this is the most important thing, what you're most grateful for right now. You know, too many of us don't, we can think about all the things we can complain about, but we don't stop to think about what's really working for us. And that's why I ask you, what are you most grateful for in your life right now at this moment? And then I would like to know your astrology sign, because armed with your astrology sign, your sun sign, I can look at this chart, you'll see my cursor moving around, and I can pinpoint you and your sign and tell you what's going on in your life right now. And what's nice about that is that's one of the ways that my guides will hit every other person on the call who's got those same issues going on. So that's one great way of getting everybody involved. And then ask your question. So, back again, your name, where you're calling from, what you're most grateful for, your astrological sign, your question. Okay? Lisa, I'm ready to get started, and so are my guides. Who's our first person, our first victim?
All righty, our first victim for tonight is going to be Kelly. Kelly, you are unmuted.
Hello, Sandy. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for taking my call.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. I'm a Libra, and I'm calling from Virginia. And I am most grateful for my family, including my furry, wonderful pet, Riley.
Hey, Riley is right up my alley. Love those pets. And before we get to your question, let me address what's going on for you astrologically. You'll see the sign on the ascendant of this Hori chart is Libra. So you're right out here where everything is showing. You know, you're up front and center right now in your life at this time. And right now, it's really, this is the first house that Libra is on. It's about you. And that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because most Libras are always looking at other people, because Libra sees itself from the reflection of how other people treat you, handle you, respond to you, love you or don't love you. But Libra reflects the world, so you're always interested in what other people are doing and are up to. Well, right now, at this time in your life, at this moment, it's about you. And that may very well be giving a lot of the people in your family and your group of friends pause, because this isn't your normal personality, not your normal behavior pattern. You know, somebody's saying, hey, do you want to go out to dinner tonight? And you're saying, well, where are you going? Instead of just saying, hey, yeah, i.e. you're putting yourself, your own interests, your own desires first. I have a question for you. How does that feel?
Good, I guess. A little uncomfortable.
Isn't it? It's uncomfortable. And yet,
Yeah.
and I have another question for you. Sorry I'm making a guinea pig out of you, but this is important for every other Libra on the call, and for every person here who's got a Libra in their lives that they have to deal with. Okay? So even though it's making you uncomfortable, you're feeling like, well, this is what I really need to be doing right now, and it feels right. So you're going ahead and you're pushing through that wall of resistance, and you're pushing through the discomfort, and you are taking a stand. You are setting boundaries. You are putting yourself first. Okay? Every Libra here is doing that, because that's what's going on for you guys right now. Now, are you going to be the same person now that you've understood, as you move through this phase, that you're allowed to put yourself first, and that actually things can turn out better for everyone because you did put yourself first? How is that feeling?
Good.
Good.
Still a little uneasy, but
A little bit uneasy and a little bit scary.
yes.
As it should be. Okay? Now, there's something else going on for you Libras, who incidentally aren't just making yourselves uncomfortable, you're making everybody else uncomfortable too, because your actions right now are out of character for what most people expect you to be responding. Okay? So it's not just you who's feeling a little uncomfortable, everybody around you is feeling a little uncomfortable too.
Okay.
I've got a new person here. Do I have to walk on eggshells with you? Are you still the same mommy? Are you still the same girlfriend? You see what I'm saying? Everybody's in a slightly different position. So what you're thinking is that all you have to do is look into yourself and say, well, what do I really want? And choose that. And automatically everyone in your world begins to shift slightly, just enough to fall into a situation that ultimately will be more comfortable for you. Isn't that interesting? So you're just in the comfort zone, and it's going to take them a while, but everyone else is going to adjust to that, and things are going to get better because of that, because you won't have that inner rebelliousness that says, well, why am I here anyway? This is a huge step for you. I don't know how many Libras we have on the call, but my guides are saying that this call is filled with Libras or people with Libra ascendants or Libra moons who just have a lot of Libra energy. So let me just describe something here, because this is going to define for everybody, including you, the baser level of being a Libra. It's typical for people who have strong Libra energy to put up with things that nobody else would put up with. Hun, could you mute your mic, please? Because I'm getting a little feedback here, and that will stop the feedback. So just self-mute, and then we can unmute later for feedback. Okay, so what happens is Libras, because they really want everybody to be happy, and they want everybody to reflect back at them, this I like you Libra quality, Libras have this way of putting up with things that nobody else in the world would put up with. So they put up with it, and 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 then one day there's that, you know the old saying, there's that straw that broke the camel's back. And the husband leaves the cap off the toothpaste, or the kid comes home 15 minutes late, or the girlfriend has their time wrong, or just doesn't bother to show up for that meeting. Whatever it is, it's not a big thing. It's a little thing, but it's a very big thing when it gets added to all the other things that Libra has put up with relative to that person. And in that moment, Libra says, I'm done. And they walk away. They don't try to work it out. They just stop loving. They stop caring. Sometimes they get really angry and they get revenge. That does happen. But the big thing is something snaps and they just walk away. Now that is the lower level of Libra, and that's, guess what, who you used to be. But right now, you're giving yourself, all the Libras here, you're giving yourself the right to say no, the right to choose what's best for you. In fact, the right to look into yourself and even decide what it is that really is best for you. Because many, many of you have not given yourself even that opportunity. So now that you're starting to learn to put you first, and all the people around you are starting to make this little shift to accommodate this new addition to your personality, the big takeaway here is you don't have to walk away. Okay, unmute. Let's get some feedback on that.
Wow. So do you become more vocal so that everybody knows what you want, and that's how you get through?
No. What happens when you become more vocal? What does that give the other person the opportunity to do?
To give their opinion or argue or...
To put you right back where you used to be.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
What we're talking about here is actions. Actions speak louder than words. The change isn't the words. The words basically tell people the change you want to make, but that's still giving them the power.
Okay.
See that? Until you take the action, they're still going to resist, and they're going to resist for a simple reason. They are more comfortable when you are not changing. Because when you shift, their comfort zone shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And so they resist your growth and they resist your change. You see the difference? This is a huge step. And it's interesting that Lisa should pick you. By the way, Lisa is also a Libra. Okay? And that this very interesting progression in Libra evolution happens to be going on right now. You know, Libra is the sign of peace, but it's also the sign that creates war in order to create the peace. Okay? Things to think about, folks. So what is your specific question this evening?
Well, I don't think it's quite as heavy as what we've been talking about, but basically I was looking to see if you could give me any insight. I've been helping my mom out. She's retired and has sold her house and is downsizing and currently living with me. And we've been looking for a place for her, and we're feeling a little frustrated. There's not too much out there for what she really wants to have, and I was just going to ask you if you had any insights into what's going to happen.
You know, now I get it. My guides were talking about exactly what is going on in your life right now. Okay? Everybody here, all ears, because this is all of you. Again, please mute your mic so we can eliminate that
Sure.
feedback for now. Okay, watch my cursor. Right down here in the fourth house of this horary chart is the moon. That's your mom. And it is 1 degree away from Pluto. That is manipulation and control. And it is in the sign Capricorn. That is the person who wants to dominate the home. Now, Capricorn happens to be a 90-degree hard aspect from Libra. So you see, this whole thing we just talked about is being played out in your home right now. And I kind of feel sorry for your husband. I'm assuming you're married. My guides are saying yes. Because you see this little Uranus up here in the 7th house. This is the house of relationship. Uranus is change. Aries is me. And your husband was so used to being the center of your universe. And he isn't anymore. Okay? And here's your mom down here in the 4th house who really knows exactly what she wants. And if she can't get exactly what she wants in a new home that's downsized, well, then she will just set herself up as queen mom in your house, and you and your husband get to figure out how to live your own lives in the space that you left behind probably 30 years ago. Because, you know, it's one thing to be friends with your mom when she doesn't live with you, and it's another thing to try and maintain dominance in your own home when your mother has moved back in with you. Okay, so you've got a real interesting scenario going on. And of course, mom is not stupid, and mom realizes this, and she's not willing to give up her power or control, so she wants to move as quickly as possible, but she's not willing to sacrifice what she wants because, you see, she's not a Libra. Okay, and all of your life, because you are a Libra, you've been trained to give everybody what they want. So, come on back on. Let's get some feedback for that.
All right. Yeah, it's probably accurate. I feel like I don't mind her being here, but I guess I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't have a husband, so maybe it's my son
Very
that you
possibly.
were referring to.
Or if you have a significant other, it could be your significant other.
Okay.
It's more likely to be the significant other, the guy that you used to see a whole lot and now you see maybe once a month. Okay.
Yes, probably my son.
Your son is going to be able to handle your mother very, very well.
Okay.
Shows up in the 5th house in this chart in Aquarius, and he has taken an objective outside point of view and said, well, if I play them both right, I can get the best out of both of them.
Okay, wow.
Okay? But bear in mind that your mom, if she is able to dominate, and I ideally, hope she's not here listening, and because I think she's a very nice lady, but if she is able to achieve dominance of your household, which is probably very possible because of your not having the husband to be stuck between,
right,
very possibly will stay there living with you. And you may fall into this as a comfort zone because it is like, being with mom again. So it's a comfortable place to be, as long as you don't have a significant other. When you get a significant other, or if you have the desire for one, that will set up a lot of conflict. You see how that will work? Because she's actually going to take the dominant role in the household, and you will go back into taking I'm the assistant role.
Okay.
Okay? So, my suggestion is find that house for her very fast, and then you'll stay really good, true, lifelong friends.
Okay.
And this card, Knight of Cups, says that there is going to be a young man, I don't know if that's your son, or if this is possibly a realtor you're working with, who's probably going to find her exactly what she wants. Because you see, your mom is much more driven by her desire than you are. Your desire is to keep the equilibrium among people. Her desire is to have the home she wants where all of her stuff will fit, and it's got to be facing the right way. So she really does know exactly what she wants in terms of the physical environment, okay? And because of that, it's going to be pretty easy to satisfy that desire, okay?
Okay.
My
So,
guides are saying, they're saying within 6. Now, I would like to say 6 days, but it probably is talking about within 6 weeks. She'll find it.
okay.
Okay?
We'll keep at it then.
Yeah. Give us
Thank
feedback.
you.
Let me know. Drop me a note.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Lisa, who is next on our list?
Alrighty, our second victim for tonight is going to be David. David, you're unmuted.
Hi, Sandy and Lisa. Thank you for taking my question. So my name is David. I'm from Atlanta. I'm most grateful for my kids, family, and friends, and my sign is a Gemini.
Like me.
Okay.
Hey. And David, let me just say a few words astrologically about what's happening for you right now. And I know you probably also read my astrology online. My guide to say he already read that. So here you are. Your sign 10 Gemini is on this 9th house cusp. So your sign is crossing from the 8th house, which has to do with money and finance. So the month is beginning like that. Right now, you're feeling very concerned about finance and business and how to pull it all together to perhaps make an investment that you're looking for. But most of the sign is falling into the 9th house, which talks about aspirations and dreams and maybe travel plans and things that you really want to get off the ground that are less tangible. So, you know, it's kind of like you're trying to pull things together tangibly, materially, so that you can launch something that's less tangible. That's a desire and a goal. Now, we have an opposition here to Mars, and so you're finding, and it also ties into Saturn, which creates a lot of resistance. You're feeling like you're moving uphill, like you're fighting this uphill battle. Like, you know, you take 5 steps up and you're taking 2 steps back, 5 steps up and 2 steps back. And here's what I'm going to suggest. There's always good advice in these from my guides. Have multiple options. And, you know, since you are a Gemini, you always do have multiple irons in the fire. It's part of who you are. So when you meet with resistance relative to one of those things that you're working towards, move your attention to a different one. And when that one meets with resistance, move it back to the first or to another one. So keep your focus flexible, and by doing that, you'll be able to get past this resistance, which is only going to last about a month and a half. And then the pressure will be off and things around you are going to start flowing a lot better. There's also a T-square happening for you, which is causing you to do a lot of inner reflecting and inner work right now. And, you know, the T-square part of it isn't the greatest because you are feeling very pressured, but you are going to achieve so much value from that inner work and that looking inwardly, inside. You're going to look back and say, it's good that things are going the way they were because it gave me time to address issues that I didn't even know that I had as I am moving forward with these things in my life. So, folks, if you are a Gemini, if you're a Pisces, if you're a Sagittarian, if you're a Virgo, you are dealing with these same things I just told him about. Okay? Now, what is your specific question?
Yes, so I would like guidance for my path, particularly my career, spirituality, and love life.
Okay, well, that's sort of like really broad, okay? So let me see what my guides have to say. Okay, so you wanted first guidance in your career, and then guidance in your spirituality, and then guidance in your love life. Okay, let's see what they come up with. Okay, guidance in your career. You aren't going to like this. My guides are telling me that you already left one career, and this is somewhat recently, in order that you could be able to work more on yourself and do the work that you want to do, but that hasn't been working out the way you want it to work out. So now you're kind of looking and saying, should I move back into the previous one, or should I move forward? My guides are saying it is time to move forward. That for you, what you're doing has to be a series of stepping stones. However, they're also saying, don't shut any of those doors because they are all of value. And you are going to be picking certain things, certain capabilities, certain tools, certain connections up from each one of those things that you have done. But they're telling me that there is going to be another change in career that's coming up. They give me an 8. I'm thinking that if it's not 8 weeks, i.e. 2 months, it's going to be August. Okay? And they are saying that you know what it is, but you have been kind of avoiding it because it entails a lot of responsibility. And they're showing you books all over. So I'm wondering if that means you might have to go back and get a certification or a degree or something that you're looking at and saying, I don't know if I want to make that kind of commitment. My guides are saying you really do, and that's going to be your best move, but you're not quite ready to see that yet. Okay?
Okay.
Now, as far as your spirituality, here's what's best for your spirituality, and that is freedom. And it's interesting because that's one of the things that's causing you the most grief, both in your career and in your love life. Because you haven't worked things out internally yet to find out how to be free within your career or how to be free within your love life. And so you end up setting up your own conflicts. David, I'm going to ask you to mute your mic because I'm keep hearing these papers shuffling or whatever, and it's distracting. Okay, so as far as your spirituality is concerned, the more you let go of the need for control, the more you create space around you. And I don't mean that you have to push everyone away or that you can't work, but you have to have that time for yourself, dedicated time for yourself each day. And I think what happens to you is that when you immerse in the career, you do it with the single-mindedness that invades your ability to be free. And when you get into a relationship, you feel as if you and that other person have to be, stuck together. And then that invades your ability to be free. So you keep feeling that your spirituality requires the kind of space that says, I have to work minimal time and I have to not have a relationship that needs me at all. And that's really not accurate. Okay? What you need is the freedom that can be brought in to pursue your spiritual pursuits and raise your consciousness by having some dedicated time each day that is just for you and your spiritual pursuits. Okay? They're showing me that the biggest thing is freedom, but planned freedom. And the freedom, get this, to study and allow yourself the flexibility to look at different paths. Because you tend to get over-focused and feel that there's only one way of doing things. And my guides are saying that's one of your life lessons, flexibility, learning to move to where the resistance is less so that you can move forward in that next leap. Unmute and feedback on those first two things, and then I'm going to talk about your love life.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on with the career and spirituality. Yeah, I'm kind of hard on myself with spirituality, and my career as well. So, yeah.
Well, follow those bits of advice, and this will be posted on YouTube, so you'll be able to replay it and hear those bits. Okay.
Okay.
This last thing, here's the card for your love life. You've got somebody in your life right now, or will soon have them. I get a 6 around that. That could be 6 weeks. It could be June. The thing is that this person's going to be very, very good for you. They're in your corner. They're supportive of you. But you have a pattern of seeing your relationship partner as the boulder in your path. So start to turn that around. This person's going to be in your corner. So you do not have to do every single thing that she's doing. Okay? You're allowed to do what you want to do for yourself. You're the one who has to create the space, create the freedom, or create the time together. Cool, huh? This next one's going to work for you. Now, is it the one you're currently in? I heard that thought. You know, I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know. I'm suspecting that the relationship you're currently in is following the old patterns. And so the only way you're going to continue with this relationship is if you can shift those patterns. And remember, it's not the other person who has to change. It's you. Okay? Again, unmute. Any comments?
Yeah, you're right again. I'm currently finalizing divorce, so yeah, you're absolutely right. Previous relationships have been the same old pattern, and I'm learning about myself, and the next person should be a lot better.
Yeah. And you know why it'll be a lot better? It's going to be because you know yourself better, and because you're doing that Libra thing that I talked so much about with our first caller. Cool.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
So much. Great questions. Okay, Lisa Libra, who is our next caller?
Tell you what, I'm acting like a Libra tonight because I am trying to balance so many things. Crazy energy. All right, the next person is Marcia Lynn.
Hello, Marcia.
You are unmuted.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you so much for taking my call. And I am ever so grateful for the dear and wonderful people and pets in my life, my family, my home. I could go on forever with my gratitude. I'm a Sagittarius, and I live in Conyers, Georgia.
So tonight is a definite Georgia night. We're getting a lot of callers. That's great. And you guys are just starting to get some nice weather up there now, too. So that's wonderful.
Yes, we are. Thank you.
You know, it's interesting because you'll notice in the chart, we just finished, look at my cursor, we just finished talking to David, who was here, and here we are in the opposite side of the chart. Okay, I love it. You know, I feel like the flavor of tonight's session has to do with that Libra energy of dealing with oppositions. And here we are, we bounced from the Gemini to the Sagittarius, opposing signs. So a whole lot of the things that I was telling him about are going to be pertinent to you. So I hope you were taking very good notes. Okay? Yes. And so in the way of Sagittarius, folks, Mars is presently passing through Sagittarius. Something wonderful has happened. Sagittarius had Saturn as a visitor for the last 3 years, and Saturn has moved on. You see it here? It moved into Capricorn. It did that just before Christmas. And so all of you Sagittarians, and I know life has not been so easy for you in the last 3 years. And it may not be so easy right now because you're coming out of that hole. But you want to know something? You know you're coming out of that. And it feels really good, doesn't it? Kind of like you can breathe. Like, can I breathe? Now you'll notice that Mars here at 26 Sag, there are only 30 degrees in a sign, is moving up on this Saturn. And so you're having this feeling of, oh, I hope it's not coming back again. Oh, I hope it's not coming back again. Oh, right? And, you know, it's not. All that stuff you went through over the last 3 years won't be back in your life again for about 29 years. You've got a space to breathe in, okay? Good. And so right now you have got this enormous amount of energy, but you're still dealing with the remnants of the things in your life. Think of it as remnants of resistance, okay? Remnants of things that were hardships that you had to deal with and resolve over this last 3 years. And you're taking care of them. By the way, it's gotten a whole lot easier to take care of those things because it's almost by rote now. But you still have to get through that, and you're impatient. So the biggest thing that's characterizing you right now isn't can I, it's just this impatience. Well, get it all over with. I'm tired of waiting, okay? And so the biggest message for you right now, and for all the Sagittarius on this call, I might add, is hang on to your patience. You are so close to winning the race. You understand what I'm saying? You're so close to achieving what you've been working so hard for. You're so close to resolving all of those all of those, because there were multiple issues in your life. It wasn't just 1, 2, 3. It was 16 or 17. And you're so close to having all of them resolved and really be able to step forward into the life you've been working so hard to create. Don't mess it up with impatience. Okay? So you're not really out of the woods yet. You still have to tie all the bows on the packages. You see? That part's not done. Don't leave that stuff undone, or it's going to bite you in the rear end. Okay?
Okay.
So what's your specific question?
Well, we've spoken before, and I've really taken a lot of wonderful steps towards opening myself up to my responsibility to serve. And I have started that process. You once told me that this would be my year. I just want to make sure that the steps that I'm taking are the correct ones. I've got a lovely group of people who are clients for me now, and I love them dearly. But is there any blockages that I should be aware of that I need to work through?
No, I think this is Sandy more than my guides. I think that your biggest blockages, or blockage, let's say one, has to do with fearing that there's a block.
Oh, okay. That's probably absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I feel like you're on the right path. I also think that part of you is having a hard time believing that people will actually, pay you and give to you for a service that you really enjoy doing. Okay?
I do enjoy it.
So you keep thinking, well, this can't be real. What if I shoot myself in the foot? Or maybe that's just this group of people, and maybe the old stuff is going to happen again if I'm not careful. And those are fears. You're human. You have a right to be human, and you've worked very hard to get to where you're at right now, and you have this fear that you're working through. Period. And that's all it is. It's not real. It's a fear. Okay? You just fear that the old patterns are going to return. And the only way they're going to return is if you return to them. Are you going to?
No. Nope.
Exactly.
I'm definitely determined not to.
Yeah.
And
then you have nothing to fear. Nothing. Okay?
Right. That it's a pretty exciting path, and I am ever so grateful to be on this path, and thankful for you for your help. And unfortunately, another part of it is communicating with animals, and it has been absolutely spectacular for me.
Yeah, and now look at this. There are two conflicts in your career here, and these aren't fear things. These are just things that are going to come up for you. Here is this, wow, what a fabulous teacher I am, and I should be writing a book. Are you hearing that, all your Sanders out there? Okay? Every person you meet, you're teaching. You're doing this constant teaching and sharing of your knowledge and whatever your skills are. And you also know that you've got this book in you that you want to take. Well, this is you, and it's a hard aspect. It's a square to the house that represents pets and animals, which is the 6th house. And there's Neptune and Sun and Chiron, and this is your healing ministry. Your healing is, I don't know if it's dogs, cats, horses, sheep, or every animal that there is, but you're saying, I can't do both. There's the conflict. I want to do both. I can't do both. I want to do both. I can't do both. Now, what did I tell David? Because it applies to you.
Oh, to make some decisions, but actually I enjoy doing both.
Well, that's it. Schedule time for both. Schedule, organize. You can do both. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to rob one to do the other. You can do both. You just don't do them at the same time. Okay?
Yeah. Sometimes readings do run into animals and helping with animals also. So
right.
It's a beautiful path.
At some point in the future, you may have resolved that. You might be teaching people and healing animals and teaching people and healing animals, or bringing the two together and then writing a book that brings the two together. And the conflict, or let's say the challenge, may be to figure out how to get that book together that encompasses all those things into one.
Wow.
Okay?
Everyone keeps telling me about a book, so I guess I'm going to have to think about it.
And I want to expand this because there are other Sages on the call and Pisceans as well. Same thing for you guys right now. where you've got issues going on either in your family or with your friends or with animals, where you've got healing and health issues, and you've also got communication issues, maybe some things going on with siblings or close friends, and all of these things are coming to a head, and you're learning how to put those together, that you can separate those that you can't. So there's a whole lot of boundary setting that's going on and reorganization.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
No, definitely organizing.
And
So my finances in the future are great, right?
now that's a different question. And
Okay.
what I'm seeing is you're going to make a lot of changes. So your finances are not necessarily great, but you're going to make a lot of changes along the way that are going to put you into a better financial situation. I think
Okay.
you're already aware of that. I think you've already started making those changes.
Yes, I have. I have.
So good luck to
Awesome.
you. And
Thank you
we'll
very
have to
much.
move on. Lisa, who is my next caller?
All right. The next person we're going to call on is Kathleen. I can
Hello,
get on mute.
Kathleen.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, nice to hear from you.
I am Kathleen. I'm in Tampa, and I am an Aquarius. And
Awesome.
I am, at this particular moment, most grateful for this opportunity that's been given to me and the financial gift that's been given to me.
That's fabulous. Congratulations. Whatever it is, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
So here, you're showing up in the fourth house, which is home, mother, nurturing, and also in the fifth house, which is the children, your children, also romance and creativity. Could you mute your mic again? I must be having more internet tonight than normal. I've been having some internet problems here, so bear with me. But if you mute your mic on your end when I'm talking, it'll eliminate some of that feedback we're getting. Okay, so there are a lot of questions going on in your mind having to do with your family, perhaps with your mom or a child of your own. The issues are having to deal with family, with creativity, with romance, with children. This whole area of the chart is real important. And you're finding that at this time, there are a lot of events, there are a lot of things going on in your life that are causing you to step back and review. So you may be stepping back and reviewing things that happened in your childhood or in your when you were raising your own children, that part of your life. Or you might be finding that a job opportunity opens, but you have to call on old skills to be able to move forward. There's this stepping back and consolidating and setting up a new platform that you can use as a jump-off point to your future that's going on for you. You also have a very active, very intense T-square that's going on. It's between this point here, the South Node, and Jupiter, which talks about education, travel, expansion, finance as well, and the North Node, which is in the house of friends, and also the giving and receiving love. So a lot of what you're going through right now does have to do with finance. This T-square points to the 8th house. That's the financial house. And that's Taurus. That's your receiving something that was really nice and beneficial. And it talks about all this love you're feeling and also this desire to give out and to share and to reach out to other people and to disseminate knowledge and stuff and money. And, here's a little guidance from my guides that says that's all fine and well, but also make sure that you look after yourself and the people who are dependent directly upon you first. You can unmute now. Feedback or however is this clear?
Interesting, yes. I do have some travel involved. I am trying to figure out really what my next best step, if what I'm planning is going to be safe for me, if it's going to turn out okay. Of course, don't we always want to know the future?
Well, I do want to turn.
I'm making a major life change.
Yeah, my guides are saying this major life change of yours is going to work out okay. They are, however, saying that there are some choices that you're making along the way that you're going to want to rethink. that you shouldn't act quite as swiftly as you feel pressured to act. So slow down, take your time, rethink not what you're doing, but your methodology, because you may come up with some better ways that are going to feel better. And I don't necessarily mean safer. That's not where I'm going. Feeling better, okay? Like you're gonna it's like the lock, when the chamber goes and goes and goes and goes, and when all of a sudden it hits it goes, and that's the way it's going to feel. When you hit upon the right methodology, it's going to feel, oh yeah, this is it. And there won't be that bit of trepidation that you have right now. Okay? They're telling me that this is going to be successful, but the speed of which you implement is going to make the difference as to whether you have the chance to think it through properly. And I want to even say that they're correcting me, not think it through, but feel it through properly versus just do it and then maybe make some mistakes. And even then, even if you make some mistakes, my guides say it turns out well. Okay?
Okay. Should I be more specific with what I'm trying to do?
You can. More specific question, more specific answer, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So I have just gone under contract to sell my house, and I'm making a nice profit on it. I'm going to take the money, and I'm going to go spend the summer with my boyfriend. He's a snowbird. I've had to work really hard all of my adult life, and have had very little time off. And this is my first opportunity to really step back and see what I actually really want to do with my life, and not have the pressure financially to be making a buck. He's thinking I need to pursue something with my creativity. I do pottery and I do some other things. I'm not sure if I should be sticking with something more conventional, like some kind of more administrative kind of work.
I think you should follow your own feelings. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's something here that's kind of interesting, and I'm going to go. Let me ask you point blank: is it okay for me to talk a little bit about your relationship right now, or do you want to?
Yes.
Is that
please.
behind the black curtain?
No, that's fine. I was going to ask you.
Okay, because
if you were getting anything with that.
I see this as a long-term, very dynamic, very happy friendship. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know that this is going to be the person that you're going to spend your romantic life with. Okay? I think that decision still is in the future. So it's important for you to realize that he does have your best interest in mind, but he's projecting that now you sold your house, you can go off and not have to do all these other things that are working, and we can be together, and you can do this creative stuff and make some money with it on the side, and it'll help us both. He's seeing you as a unit, okay? And your feeling of, I want to maybe stay in the administration, I want to move into, I'm going to take the summer off, I'm going to get more in touch with me. He's seeing this, she's going to take the summer off, and we are going to get closer, okay? So you and he are seeing the same thing here, okay? And
interesting, because I feel like I'm the one who's wanting that more, and he's the one who's holding back.
Well, don't we often switch back and forth? You see? So what you're wanting right now isn't what you are going to be wanting.
Oh, okay.
But what he's wanting is what you're wanting right now. You see what's going to be happening? You're subconsciously already recognizing this, which is why your feeling is, well, when I sell my house and I do the snowbird thing, I should be looking for some administrative position. You're already on this. Subconsciously, you're already recognizing that you want to maintain your independence. You want to maintain your freedom because you really aren't sure where you want to spend your future. Okay?
Yeah, I'm afraid to allow myself to depend too much on somebody else.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he's going to be doing all he possibly can to get you to depend on him so that he feels more secure. And that's going to make you back off. Okay?
Okay.
So, but I see it as a long-term, like I said, friendship. You guys have a lot in common. You enjoy one another's companionship. It can go for a long time, but you're still not going to be sure that this is that person, you see?
Is it possible that could change?
Yes, it is. And
Okay.
of course, your next question is, well, how do I make that change? And it's not so much a matter of how you make it change. It's
Mhm.
it's the fact that you step off of the pedestal. It can't change if you allow if you keep trying to be on the pedestal. If he keeps trying to put you on the pedestal, it's not going to be what you want, because you will be being somebody that you're not.
On a pedestal. Okay.
I.e., you can't keep trying to be what he wants, and he can't keep holding an image of you in his mind and heart. That is not who you are.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what's got to change in order. Basically, you don't want him putting somebody else's face on you. You want your own face.
Right. I need to be able to be me.
Exactly.
Quirks and all. You know, the
Exactly.
Aquarius.
Right. So, good luck to you, and
Thank you.
have a great time this summer. I think that's a really
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful thing for you to do.
You've been so helpful. Thank you,
You're
Sandy.
welcome. And Lisa, I think we have time for one more person. As Lisa's choosing that person, folks, I want you to notice up here on my chart, I have my website, www.sandyanastasi.com. Go there to find out what I'm doing all month long, all year long, and also to check out my new website, which should be out within the next month. And also the line under it, http sandy-anastasi.mykajabi.com /PL/17992. That is my new Kajabi Tarot course. Learn the tarot in little bite-sized pieces. More importantly, you can go click that link and get yourself a free copy of my short tarot card meanings. So everybody here can play with the cards. Lisa, who's next?
All right, looks like the lucky winner for the last spot tonight is going to be Heidi.
Hello, Heidi.
Heidi, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is my first time on here. My husband was sitting in here and he said, "You're next." And I was like, "How do you know?" And he was like, "I just have a feeling."
Very cool. See, isn't it nice to be married to a psychic?
He really is. It's really nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, I'm a Leo, and I'm from Salt Lake City, and I am most grateful for my meditation practice.
Awesome.
That's something that's given my life meaning.
Heidi, as a Leo, what's kind of neat right now is and I know you don't know any astrology, but you know astrology, which is interesting. Do you know that? Have you ever?
I've had an interest in it for a while.
Well, my guides are telling me that you've been an astrologer in a past life, so you haven't studied it, but you know it. Okay.
Right. Well, it's always made sense to me.
Yeah. So pick up my astrology book. It's called Lisa, what is it called? I wrote one. At any rate, it's very easy to read. It's fun. Pick it up and read it, because it's going to come to you so fast you won't believe it. Now, as far as where you're located here, you're on the cusp, there's Leo, between the 10th house. So partially what's going on in your life right now is where's my career going? How do I want the world to really see me? Because I'm feeling like I want to shift what I'm doing. And most of your sun sign is in this 11th house, which has to do with aspirations, goals, and dreams. And also, I don't know if you have 3 children. If you do, your 3rd child would be here. Okay. And,
oh God, I have 2.
Okay. So you might be thinking about that 3rd, though. Could be. Okay, because of this positioning. This is also where the North Node is tonight. And so all the things that we've been talking about are really all of them are focusing on you, because you're listening to all this stuff and you're saying, well, this is where I am at. I'm in a growth spurt right now. I'm knowing that I need to take my next step, because the North Node is where we grow. We grow in our relationships, we grow in our home, in our family, we grow in our desires. And so you're kind of looking at every aspect of life and saying, I'm ready for that next step. Okay? And when you say you're so grateful for your meditation practice, it's kind of interesting, because this next house over, it would be more true meditation, you see, that 12th house, or the 9th house, which is teaching and learning meditation. So for you right now, the best way to really get a handle on your meditation would be within a group, or connecting with a group, or teaching a group, because so much of life right now is connected to getting in touch with other people in group settings. That could even be things like Facebook, or a yoga class that you go to. You follow what I'm saying? Or pulling all the women together when their kids are in school and saying, let's do a meditation group. So you're going to find you can get so much deeper into it if you pull the group together in that way. Also, you're going to find that your creativity is just off the charts right now. And when you start bouncing off other people, you know, another woman over a coffee clutch, or your husband sitting there over the dinner table, and as questions and points are coming up, you don't even know where the information's coming from. It's just shooting through you. So your creativity in terms of information, and also your artistic ability, is really just super flowing. So now's the time to, you know, record those dreams. Even if you can't act on them now, record, because you're getting a window into your future right now. All those things that you're capable of doing and bringing into your life. So what's your specific question? Oh, and by the way, folks, that's Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus, all of you experiencing similar things to what I just told Heidi. So what's your specific question?
Okay, that's everything you've said is spot on, and I have an online presence that I have been pretty much avoiding, because it just, I mean, my heart is pounding so hard right now, because everything you said is exactly what I've been dealing with. And okay, so my question is, I'm trying to move forward with wanting to be able to teach yoga and meditation type work for people with PTSD. And I feel like I keep running into blocks, and lately I've been plagued with nightmares. And the first nightmare I had was my husband went missing. The second nightmare I had was my husband left me for someone younger, which is funny because I'm young and hot and it's fine. But but the third one I had was someone, or my brother went missing. And so I have these dreams, and I feel like I'm running into a brick wall when it comes to my confidence in moving forward, and that would be my question.
Here's a big part of what's going on for you, okay? A really big part. First off, when you meditate, and when you do yoga, the actual process aligns all of your bodies, okay? Which is great, because it's for your spirituality, for your evolution. It puts you right on target. But it also increases your psychic receptivity exponentially. So the more you meditate, the more sensitive you're going to become. The more you do your yoga, the more, as you clear, the more sensitive you become to everything around you. And here you're wanting to teach your yoga, to teach your meditation to people with PTSD who routinely have panic attacks, who routinely have fears that are off the charts, that they can't even put into words, that have nightmares day after day, night after night. Are you putting this together?
Maybe you could help walk me through it a bit more.
What's happening is you're reflecting the people you're teaching. And I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming your husband may very well be one of these people with PTSD. Okay? And,
both of us have had PTSD, which is why I'm interested in it.
and isn't it likely that he is the one who's actually afraid of losing you? You see, what I'm trying to tell you is that you are a receptive empath. And through your practice, your receptivity is increasing and increasing and increasing, and you're not separating out what is you from what is the person you're teaching. So
Yeah.
either you've got to stop teaching the PTSD or any other ill person and teach plain old ordinary housewives who have housewife problems, okay? Or you really, really have to beef up your psychic protection. Really beef it up. And I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and try that first, okay? In fact, obviously I know you watch my YouTube channel because that's probably how you heard of this class. Go on that channel. I've got 58 different psychic protection tips. Start there. Judy Hall has a wonderful book called The Art of Psychic Protection. I highly recommend it. There are so many good ones. Ted Andrews has Psychic Protection. Dion Fortune has Psychic Self-Defense. So, but start with the YouTube because I know that you're very visual. You're gonna connect with that and learn your psychic protection and utilize it before sleep at night, and utilize it before you are teaching your class. Okay. You may have to take extra steps because if you have somebody who connects with you because you're now their guru, you're their teacher, okay? And that person might be thinking of you when they're having a panic attack. And lo and behold, you're taking it in and on and thinking it's yours, and it's not.
Mm.
And the only way that you can help these people through to the other side is by being so strong that you don't buy into their stuff. You've got to be the tree they hang on to, not the water they soak into.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Good luck, because I think you're a dynamite teacher, but I think that without this missing piece, neither your practice nor your teaching is going to be able to make it. You've got to separate yourself enough from them to be able to really keep your cool. And next time you have these dreams, say, I know this isn't mine. Out of here. Okay?
Okay.
Okay? Out of all the things that you said you were dreaming about, the only one that I can say holds any potential at all is the one with your brother. And that actually has to do with your feeling like you need to protect him and fix him, and you're responsible for him, and eventually he has to grow up and you have to let go. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck to you. And
All right. Thank you.
you're welcome. Hey everyone, that's it for the Psychic Hour this evening. I want to remind you our next Psychic Hour is April 15th. I hope to see you there. And if you didn't get called on this evening and you would like to ask a question, anytime between now and 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, I must receive that question, and I will get to it as soon as I can, probably somewhere over the next 2 weeks. And folks, I love you all, and I'm so grateful, I'm grateful that you're here with me tonight. Good night. Good luck to everybody.